All right. Hello, everybody joining us on YouTube. We will get going soon with the webinar, all about being future ready, all about getting yourself out there, the 7 key elements that you need to be aware of to be future ready. So I'm super excited, and we're going to be letting people in shortly. So just bear with us because we're going to get going in 1 minute. We're going to start letting people in, and we'll get going with this. So hello to everybody that's joining us on a YouTube. Very excited. In case you don't know who I am, I'm Ellie Kay, and I'm the CEO and visionary of the Speaker Awards and Speaker Summit. And I look forward to taking you through the following webinar so you can get consistent speaking opportunities, be future ready, and be willing to go out there and win more speaking opportunities. And we'll get going in exactly 1 minute. So stay with us. We're just looking at the numbers come in. It's very exciting. Some new names, some not older names, but familiar names should be the correct way to put it. I will press record here on Zoom as well, and we will get going. All right, let's do this. Let me press resume. All right, Mickey, let's let them in. Hello, 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 beautiful people. Hello, Dr. Ruth. Lovely to see you. Hello, George. Lovely to see you. Nice to see John. Nice to see Akua. Nice to see Terry. Some familiar names, but not on camera. That's okay. You don't need to. Hi, Eric. Hi, Kate.
Hi there.
Hi, Katie. Lovely to see you all.
Lovely to see you too.
Really nice to see. If you want to stay on camera so I can see some smiley faces, I welcome it. But if you don't want to be on camera and you just want to soak in what I'm going to share with you. Hi, Dr. Will. It looks like you're on a bit of a cycle there. So thanks for joining while you're cycling.
So I'm at the skate park with my 4-year-old. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, daddy day today. Yeah.
Enjoy. Well, thanks for joining anyway, and just keep an eye on your little boy as well. We're going to get going in a second. Hi, Hema. Lovely to see you as well. And what we'll do today is his hands-on. I'll start the slides in a minute. We will do lots of practical stuff because what I really want to do through this is to help you all really kind of go where you need to go. Hi, Ikua, lovely to see you. With your speaking, be future ready. I'm going to take you through all the different steps and assets that you need to kind of think about, review, maybe keep on your radar. For some of you, this will be a refresher. I completely accept that. For some, you'll be like, oh, yes. And I hope you all go, oh, yes, even if it's a refresher. And then we're going to teach you something. And, at the end of the day, I'm going to invite you, if you would like to choose to come and join us at the Speaker Summit in July. But before then, what I want to do is add massive value. Is that okay for you? Is that a good deal if I give you massive value up front? Fantastic. Before we get going, what I'd love to know from all of you is, where are you in your current speaker journey? Give me a 1 if you're like, I'm booked every month, I'm paid the fee I want, it's going brilliant. Give me a 1. Give me a 2 if you're booked, getting paid, but it's not as consistent as you like. And give me 3 if you're tearing hair out going, oh my God, what is this whole thing about being booked consistently? So if you could just put that in the chat for me, that would be great. I'm seeing a 2, a 3, a 4. Okay, that wasn't even an option. I love that. So we're in overdraft territory here with 4. We've got another 3. Good to see. 3, although no hair. I love that. Not quite any. Only starting, so doing freebies. Okay, good. That's what we want. 10.5. I love that. I mean, I'm not sure what 10.5 is, but I love that you're giving your own marks. Fantastic. Keep them going. I will introduce myself. If you've never met me before, don't worry. You're not going to just have me chatting away. I will tell me a little bit about myself and things like that. We've also got Mickey here, who's the co-host. She's just helping me kind of let people in so I can just do this. Nil. Okay, right. So let's get going with this. And if anyone is joining from the Speaker Award shortlisting, just to remind you that after this session, there'll be another reminder in a minute, there is also a session with Ambition PR with Hannah and Jenna who are on the call to take you through your PR packs and, everything you might need to do to further your shortlisting, with the Speaker Awards. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, don't you worry about that. This is separate from it. So why am I here today? Look, I meet lots of speakers. I am very much involved with speaker bureaus. As some of you may or may not know, I run the Speaker Awards and Speaker Summit, and I really want to support every single one of you on this call to be future ready. Now, we can't be future proof. That's just impossible, but we can do certain things to be future ready. And what I want to do is give some of you a refresher, some of you some ideas, some insights as how you can get more consistent bookings, get the fee you want, but also be here in 12 months. That's really why I want to do this, because there's some great people out there that aren't getting the bookings they should. And there's some great people out there who are also getting bookings they should. I want to make sure that you can always be ready. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing today. I'm going to give you lots of value steps. It's all applicable. What's that? Applicable. Let me just, my co-founder has just joined me, so I'm just going to make her co-host. Give me 1 second. It's always a pleasure to have Levelda on the call. There she is. I'm sure she'll show her face as well. So I'm going to give steps. There's no ideation. It's not theory. These are things that I know to be true from working with bureaus, from working with industry peers. So it will be hands-on, and it will be a bit of an audit for you. So you just need to be honest, because I want the community of professional speaking to go up a level, and I want us to go out there and do great stuff. Because who would agree, give me an emoji or a thumbs up, however you want to do it, that we need some great people out there in the world right now with some great messages. Would you agree on that front? I think, give me a thumbs up or an emoji or something in the chat that helps. Yes, I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. It's a bit of a mess right now. And what I want to do is make sure you're ready and you can, and you know what is needed. Because I think sometimes people can approach a bit blind, right? They're like, oh, I want to be a speaker, but I'm not getting booked. Why? They're not coming. They're not knocking for me. They're not knocking down the door. Where's my suitcase full of cash? Anyone know what I'm talking about? Right. So just to remind you, for those of you shortlisted, after this session is finished, you got the bonus session with Hannah and Jenna, all about how to PR yourself. So let's talk about simplifying how to get consistent gigs. Let's do that. As I said, I will introduce myself shortly, but here's what I get a lot. And even with professional speakers already out there, I get, well, I don't know where to start again. I get that a lot, right? I also get a lot of, will they pay my fee? How many of you can relate to that? You want to ask for a certain fee, but you're a bit scared, or will they reject me, or will they go with someone cheaper? Does anyone relate to that? Give me a thumbs up, an emoji, or something in the chat. Yes, or maybe you're like, listen, this is what I pay, this is what I charge, and that's that, and that's completely okay. The other question I get a lot is, I was getting booked, but I'm not getting booked now. Why is that? You know, they seem to have dried up, or I'm not attracting the ones that are willing to pay my fee. I get that a lot as well. And there you go, the dried up one as well. We get that as well. Look, I think what I want to do is give you some truths. And when I say truths, just the kind of universal truths when it comes to speaking, to understand that a lot of times we need to take charge of our own marketing journey when it comes to speaking. And I know a lot of you are like, yeah, that's so obvious. But sometimes we don't quite know how, or we get lost, or it can be quite lonely, and we're dealing with a lot of potential rejection, or they go with someone else. And I get that a lot from even very established speakers. I'm working with a guy. He's got a huge following, 1.6 million on Instagram. He's got massive, massive clout. And even he's like, look, I get so far and then I don't get the gig. Why is that? And so what I want to do is dissect a lot of those key questions and show you why that is. So for those of you who've never met me before, hello. I completely appreciate you taking time out on a Friday. My name's Elliot Kay, and I am the co-founder and the visionary behind the Speaker Awards and Speaker Summit. I'm a professional speaker myself. I've done lots of hours of speaking on stage internationally. I've written 6 books, 2 of them bestseller. My 7th is coming out shortly, called Watch Me Go. I also host a podcast, the ANS Front Row Podcast, which is linked to the Speaker Summit and the Speaker Awards. And I do coaching and training high level. I work with a lot of people already established on their way there, or some people starting out as well, of course, that also want to get out there. But I do that as well. Here's my request to all of you. Please stop waiting for the right time, the right environment, the right geopolitics. You know, if you wait for the right time, the time flies by. Also, stop waiting to be found. Okay, what you need to do is put yourself out there to be found, and not wait for them to come knocking on the door. By the way, feel free to put questions in the chat. I'll circle back to them later. But for now, just put them in and I'll come back to them. Also, stop hiding behind the keyboard. Who here relates to this? Just one more post. just one more thing, just one more tweak, just one more edit, and you're sitting there behind the keyboard when you should be out there speaking. Who can relate to that? Give me a thumbs up or an emoji. Yeah? Can relate to that? Yeah, let's stop doing that, people. Because remember, if you're hiding, someone else isn't. All right. And I want you to understand that what might have worked before might not work now. Okay. And I get that a lot. I get a lot of CEOs and founders that come to me and go, I was getting booked and my show reel was getting me bookings and they've dried up. And I'm like, send me a show reel. Like, well, we haven't updated it for 3 years. There's your answer. Right. So again, what was working might not be working. And I just want you also to think how easy it is to find you. Like, can you be found with ease as a speaker, right? I know a lot of you probably have websites and LinkedIn, and can you be found with ease? Does your website show you off show you off? I don't mean show you off, right? But show you off as a speaker. Does your LinkedIn profile you as a speaker? Does your social media exhibit you as a speaker? And how easy is it to find you speaking? Now, I think I want to share this shift that's happening in the industry right now. It's always been a part of it, but this is really important. People need to understand the problem you solve very quickly, right? Because you're going to get booked because of the problem you solve. Even if you're in the inspirational, motivational space, they have to understand the problem you solve for the corporate, for the booker, for all these people. That is essential. If they don't get the problem you solve and all they see is you're a great speaker, you're inspirational and you're funny, the industry has shifted to want to book problem solvers. That's key, right? So I want you to really, as we go through this today, it's going to be very reflective. You're going to think about things quite a bit. I really want you to think how clear people reading your stuff, people that are looking at your stuff, can understand the problem you solve. Could they do it in 2 sentences, for example? I want you to have a think about that. It's okay if no, by the way. But this is why I want to do this, to kind of highlight these kind of topics and issues. Do bookers. When I say bookers, it's not just bureaus and agents. Is it the people running conferences, the people that want to bring you to the book? Do they get what you get quickly? Or do they have to really spend the time studying what you're doing? And believe you me, if they're looking at several speakers and they have to really think too much, they will move on. So I just want you to, again, some of these questions to think about it. What's really important is the work we do today will pay off in 3 to 6 to 12 months, right? So that's why today I want you to use this as a reflective moment to go, where am I in my journey? Where am I? Where can I do better? And then we'll go from there, okay? The other thing that's really big, right, is do you inspire trust in the bookers, right? And it's so important. I put 2 question marks there, right? Do you inspire trust? Because when you're being booked, think about this for a second. I want to highlight this. And this came through the conversation we had a few weeks ago with Claire Young and Dominic, who's also in the chat here I've seen. People are putting themselves on the line by booking you, okay? People can lose a job if you're a dud book. People, obviously you won't get booked again. So when you're putting yourself out there through the things I'm going to talk about today, you have to inspire trust in you. Like, everything you put out there must inspire trust, because people are taking a risk, a gamble, by booking you. And assuming you are all great speakers, which I hope you all are, you have to radiate trust, and you have to be trustworthy too. That goes without saying, but people need to see that from the word go. A lot of you shown up today, I hope, because there was something you could see that built some trust that you're here now. I know some of you have met, but a lot of you haven't, right? So you got to inspire trust in your communication as a professional speaker. That's a given. Like, that is a non-negotiable, right? So here's some of the mistakes I see, and then we're going to go deeper, right? Wrong outreach. I get people approach me all the time to want to speak at the summit, and it's just, hey, this is why you should book me. I'm so good. No relational stuff, right? No outreach. You're sitting there waiting for the bookings. Not enough visibility. As a professional speaker, I'm talking about, not other things, okay? Wasting on time and ineffective activities. You should not be editing your show reels unless you're a really good editor, period. I know you can even invest time or money, right? Unless you're really good at something, please do not do it yourself. Wrong show reel. It doesn't reflect your positioning, which we'll talk about. The website, again, looks cheap, looks tacky, or doesn't reflect your positioning. Your social media doesn't demonstrate your speaking. How you email is out of sync or doesn't work. No marketing. I know plenty of speakers that don't market. Anyone who's someone like that? No, good. Right. Poor or old positioning, general positioning, very vanilla. I'm a wellness speaker. I'm a inspirational speaker. And that doesn't say anything to the person booking you. The other thing, of course, is you get a few bookings and then you turn the marketing machine on. You know what? Off. I mean, off. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Good. Got this. Got 4 bookings. Boom. But then what happens? Right? You dry up again. And of course, waiting passively as well. Anyone relate to this? Are you with me, people? Let me see some smiley faces. I can't quite see you there. I'm seeing George smiling. I'm seeing Katie smile. That's good. Eric, do I get a smile out of you? Because these are the only 3 I can see. Great. Awesome stuff. So good stuff. Lovely stuff. Okay, let's keep going. Right. So this is what I want to remember. Speak the truth. What worked yesterday might not work today. And that's why we're doing this little webinar. So here's some stuff I'd like to address. How do we get them coming to me? Them being the bookers, the people that might book you, right? I've got something in the way. How do you get them consistently coming to you as well, or consistent bookings? And this is what kind of the whole speaker journey looks like. We're not going to go into all of this today, but feel free to take a screenshot. I don't mind sharing these slides either, right? So this is everything around being a professional speaker, the whole picture, right? There's a lot of stuff there. If you wanted to take a picture, great. But today we're zooming in on the marketing aspect. That's really what today's about. And I really want to get focused in because you really cannot build without the right pieces. So what I want to do is give you the right pieces. Now, this works if you're already out there. If you're a 1, it still works for you. For those who came at the beginning, 1 was like, I'm booked every month, I'm paid my fee. It works if you're a 3, right? So this works regardless of the level you're at, all right? There's 7 key elements. And what I'm going to ask you to do in a minute is a bit of an audit on yourself. I'm going to ask you 1 to 10, where are you? And then I want you to put the answer and thing. And again, this is reflective. This is hands-on. This isn't ideation. I want you at the end of this to know what you need to do to go to the next level. So there's some key areas to go from inconsistent to consistent, right? Your positioning. I'll talk about each one. This is why we put 90 minutes aside. So you understand. I'm not giving you theory. I'm giving you practicality. Showreel is the other one. Your LinkedIn and or social media. Your website, what's important about that. Photography on your one-pager, we'll talk about that. Your outreach approach is essential. And of course, how you deliver your talks. And I'll talk about world-class delivery beyond just standing on stage. Those are the key ingredients, right? Now we need to address and look at to go to consistent bookings. Now, please understand that it's a continuous evolution. Like as a speaker, you'll evolve continuously. So a lot of these things need to be looked at every 6 to 12 months, right? Where I was positioned a year ago is completely shifted with the coming out of my new book to where I am now as a speaker. Also, you evolve as a speaker, your ideas, your concepts evolve as a speaker, right? And that's really a key element of this. So let's talk about positioning, and I'm going to explain it, and then I want you to give yourselves a mark from 1 to 10. Why are you? 10 being like, I'm smashing this out the park, right? Oh, too quickly for hearing. Okay, I'll slow down. Thanks for bringing that to my attention. Kerry, I will slow down. No problem. I'm going to spend more time on these as well, by the way. But thank you. Has anyone else got choppy audio? Or can you hear me okay? Yeah, most people can hear me okay. I don't know what to do about that. Perfect. Oh, hi, Vanessa. Hi, Rachel. Right. So let me talk about positioning, and then you give yourselves a little bit of a 1 to 10. So 10, brilliant. Positioning is key. Everything is born from positioning. Your whole bookability comes from your positioning, right? And what's really important here with your positioning, as I talked about, is the problem you solve, who you solve it for, and why you're the person to solve it as a professional speaker. So what's the problem you solve? Who do you solve it for? And how do you do it in a special way, right? In a unique way. Then you build out from there, then your experience in that space and your story, that all matters. Of course it matters. But ideally, when I talk about do people get the problem you solve and do the bookers understand you, they should be able, here's what I want you to understand with the positioning, right? The person that's looking to book you should be able to sell you with ease. They should be able to take 4 lines and go, this is why we should use Katie. This is why we should use Dr. Will. If that positioning isn't absolutely clear, then it's hard to sell you, right? I'll never forget, Kay said this, Kay Freeman. She's going to be at the Speaker Summit. She's one of the judges at Speaker Awards. She says, you need to make it easy for, she's an agent. You need to make it easy for me to sell you, right? That's an agent speaking. You need to make it easy for you to sell you. So your positioning needs to be really, really clear. I was working with someone, I've got an example in a minute, and she was a sales coach, which of course is very general. But when we did some work, she then changed her positioning to addressing, say, toxic sales culture, right? Very different positioning, but completely changed her whole positioning. And therefore the bookings went really, really well. Like it upped her fee because suddenly corporates got the problems she solved. So what I want you to do when after this, of course, and we address positioning throughout the summit, is to really think, is your positioning crystal clear? Do they get the problem you solve easily? And can someone sell you with ease? So really think about those questions. I don't expect you to have the answers now, but I just want to highlight this because for those of you who do get busier and busier, and then you turn to bureaus, like London Speaker Bureau, Dom's here today, and other ones, they need to sell you with ease. So the moment they see you, they go, do I have a client for this person? How easy it is to put this person in front of them. You need to make it easy for them. The bureaus, the agents, the bookers, period. For anyone finding you, boom. Okay. So from 1 to 10, where are we? Let's have a little bit of an audit there. Where are you? Be honest. Hard to self-assess as value feedback for those who are booking. Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to assess. I agree. So working with someone to get that feedback really helps as well. So that's why going to people, to professionals, coming to the likes of the summit, things like that, you can really get that kind of feedback. I work with people in positioning too. There we go. We got 6, we got 3, we got 4. I speak more than one thing. So it makes it hard. Yes, but also this is where thinking yourself as a brand, you can still be Haley, right? But Haley cover these topics. But overall, you should be able to address problems through those topics. 8, bold statement. Yes, Anthony, lovely to see you. Looking forward to seeing you at the summit. Absolutely. We've got a 6. Oh, it's going up. Good. Positioning. Good. Okay. So what, and keep a note of these marks, by the way, because you're going to do a little average later on. So once you've nailed your positioning, right? And I'll just give you a couple of examples. This is the example I was talking about, going from sales coach to dealing with toxic sales culture, very different positioning. Then this is Anik, who shifted her positioning away from what she was doing. At the time when she came up, she was a behavioral predictability expert. I think she shifted again since then. But once she shifted that positioning, that's when she got more bookings. That's when bureaus and various agencies took an interest because they got very quickly what she did, her positioning, and things went up from there, right? So that's just an example. Now, once you have your positioning, your show reel, right, is your commercial for that positioning. It's your advert, all right? So what I want you to understand is this is why your show reel must reflect your positioning. What I see a lot is I see a speaker position themselves one way on their website or LinkedIn, and the show reel does not reflect that. They create a show reel that they like to watch, right? Or it feels good, or it's emotive, and it's a bit like a Netflix trailer. Within the first 15 to 30 seconds, the booker needs to get exactly like your positioning, why to book you. And if you don't get that in the first 15 to 30 seconds, they're unlikely to watch anymore. If they do, great, but it has to reflect your positioning, your show reel. This is key. And I think what's really important when it comes to it is to do it properly. Because if you thought, let's say you're all have the money to put yourself on TV and advertise yourself as a speaker, and you're paying per second, you would make every second count, right? Literally, you've got £1,000 a second and you've got 90 seconds. You would not mess around because of the cost of that. If you translate that to show reels, right, it's the same. Every second counts, period, right? So what's really important, that reflects your positioning, it reflects you as a brand, and it shows why to book you. So of course they got to get a feeling from you as a speaker. They got to get a real gist of you and who you are. Of course that needs to come through. Your golden nugget, it's all part of the same package. There's not either or here, all right? So that's why I wanted to do. There we go. Dominic's here. If you want to hook the first 10 seconds and you don't even if they watch the whole show, there you go. So that's from Dominic, who is part of London Speaker Bureau, who's an advocate. He's going to be at the summit as well. And he's one of the judges for the Speaker Awards. So 10 seconds. There you go. 10 seconds. I heard it's 15. It's gone down. Tough times, right? Cost of living goes up. People's attention's gone down. It's 10 seconds, even more. So that's really good advice there. Thanks, Dom. Please, please invest in your show reel. It's everything, all right? As well as your positioning as everything else. But that's the next step, right? That's what's going to get you the conversation about the booking is your show reel. So having that in mind now, 1 to 10, where are we with our show reels? And I'm going to have a sip. I'm hopefully going a bit slower now, Kerry. Is this all right? Okay, thank you for your honesty. Good. I need to redo yours. Good. Okay. Well done, Nick. I like it. Yeah, so that's a fair look. A lot of speaking. Let me just address that really quickly, Kerry. So a lot of speaking opportunities will come from referrals and word of mouth. That's true, but it's the beauty of and, right? It's not either or, it's and. So you want to be across various platforms. A lot of it's relational, and we'll come to that. We'll come to referrals. We'll come to how you build relationships. But yeah, that's a fair point. What if a TEDx talk don't yet have showreels different? Okay, let me quickly address. Your TEDx is your idea worth spreading, and the format of TEDx can be utilized. Number one, TEDx don't like you using it as a showreel, right? They have all these terms and conditions, but it's very hard to police. Number two, if you feel it's a fair reflection of you as a speaker and it gets you booked, I know people that have used their TEDx to get bookings, then it works, right? A showreel is a highlight of various talks, normally in various settings, or it's a highlight of one talk, right? So I wouldn't send anyone an 18-minute TEDx if they haven't quite know you yet. But a 2.5 minute to 3.5 minute is enough. I mean, one lady we know, she does 90 seconds, but every 90 seconds matters, right? So some really good, honest averages, some really great questions. Let me circle back to some questions, going to keep going. But also beyond showreel, what I do want to tell you about is the 2 other videos you need, right? And this is part of being future ready, all right? Number 1, you need your showreel, which I've talked about. Number 2, you need your value reel. And that's 5 to 7 minutes of pure value. So this is the next video along, right? So once they've seen your show, they'll go, send me something else to see. That's your value reel. That's your other stuff. That's the next level to selling you as a speaker. And then the other one you should have in your armory is a pitch video. You to camera going, hi, I'm Elliot Kay. The problem I solve is this. The way I solve it is that. The reason what I bring to your audience is this. And it's a pitch video. It's not clever. It doesn't need to be amazingly. It's just something, again, that when people need to get more of you, that you have available, right? Here you go. Dominic says, if you only have a TEDx and not a showreel, I'll be reluctant to book you. Need to see different situations, which is backing what I was saying there as well. So this is key. Now, within your showreel, as well as different situations, you want to have testimonials in there, right? And again, the testimonials I suggest you use, remember I said this is practical, there's no ideation. The testimonials you want to use have to be about an ROI, like a return on investment of booking you. Again, that's something bookers want to see now. You know, Elliot was really funny. He was really entertaining. That's nice. But Elliot shifted the whole way we produce X, the whole productivity level. That's what bookers want to see. Yeah. So again, the testimonials have to have something tangible, because another shift in the industry to being future ready is by booking you, you have to start thinking of return on investment, not just how good a talk you give. This is key. And you have to be able to demonstrate that down the line. Okay. So please differentiate between number 2 and 3. Yeah. So 2 is, again, it's bigger highlights. So your value reel is bigger highlights. It's longer. It's a bit more of your talks, about 5 to 8 minutes. It could be 15, but the idea is they get more of you versus just highlights. And then the pitch is literally to camera. Hi, I'm Elliot Kay. The problem I solve is this. This is how I solve it. This is what's in it for your audience. This is why we should talk, right? It's a pitch video, right? With testimonials, is that just a speaker reel? No. You can put them through your value reel. I don't think it'll do any harm at all. You can put them throughout, is the answer to that. But have those three ready, because the next thing, let's say you're dealing with Dom. Dom says, listen, Elliot, send me your showreel. And he watches the showreel and goes, yeah, that's so cool. It's brilliant how you did this. I need to see more because I need to understand more. I've got a taster for you. Then you send the value reel. And then with that, you could attach the pitch video, right? It's the next level to a showreel often. I've had it several times when I've been booked. They're like, hey, I love your showreel. Can you send me more? And then that's when they tend to make a decision as well. All right. That showreel. How are we doing for time? Am I banging on here? Oh, we're doing all right. Next one. Woohoo. You've got your positioning right. You've got your showreel. By the way, how is everybody? Are we good? Give me like your favorite emoji in the chat. Give me a thumbs up, or give me a heart or a diamond or a dancing person, whatever you choose. Let's just check you're doing well. Yeah, I've got sunglasses going. Woohoo. I'm good, thanks. I've got a heart. Oh, I love it. See, I just need some love every now and then. I'm sweating here, by the way, people, just to let you know how much I'm putting into this. Woo. Okay, let's keep going. Love the emojis. Let's talk about LinkedIn and social media. I'm going to focus in on LinkedIn, all right? But you can take this to TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, whatever your preferred channel is. I'm going to talk about LinkedIn. The reason I'm going to talk about LinkedIn is because the bookers are on LinkedIn, bureaus on LinkedIn, event organizers on LinkedIn, HR directors on LinkedIn, events teams are on LinkedIn, right? Now, assuming your positioning's locked in and your showreel's locked in, your LinkedIn is your broadcast platform to extend your expertise. And again, I know a lot of you do other things. So let's say if you're like me, you post 5 times a week at least. Let's say you do other stuff outside of speaking. At least 1 to 2 posts a week consistently need to be dedicated to your speaking, right? If you're going full out pro, then all of your posts should be about speaking. But not the whole, look at me, I'm such a great speaker, book me, not that. It's got to be an extension like of your voice and your expertise that demonstrates to people willing to book you that they consume your expertise, and then they go, sure, let me book this person. Let me grab Vanessa. Let me get Ruth, right? Let me grab Sarah, right? Because they're consuming your expertise, therefore they're more likely to want to do. So it is like a broadcast channel, but not from an egotistical, but from an add value point of view. Every few weeks do, hi, I've opened up my diary for 2027. If you want to book me, go for it. But you've got to do value added posts. You've got to do the posts to extend your expertise. And the more they can see of you speaking, the better, right? So there's all kinds of ways to do this. There's all kinds of strategies. I'm not a LinkedIn marketing strategist, but I know what works for me and what's worked for the awards and the summit, right? And it uses a platform to extend your voice. The other thing to remember with LinkedIn is you're posting now for later, right? So even if you don't get likes now, right, people will consume it later. The amount of times people have reached out to me after I've posted things, weeks sometimes. That's a great thing about LinkedIn is people actually consume data versus Instagram's very quick scrolly, TikTok's very quick scrolly, LinkedIn people consume it. And here's what I want to also say. The people that tend to book you or reach out to you very seldomly comment. It's normally via DM or it's normally offline, but they will look at you. The other thing to think about when it comes to LinkedIn, it is pretty much your second website. It helps with your ranking. It helps with being found, right? So all of these elements about LinkedIn are really important. Now, if you choose to use the other platform, that's fine too. Like you can use TikTok. I know lots of people that use TikTok very effectively, but that's almost like a shop window, okay, of their speaking. LinkedIn is a display of expertise. Yeah, it should 100% be your second website. There you go, Lavelda. Lovely to see you there. I'm always happier when Lavelda's on the call with me. I don't know what it is. She reassures me. She's the co-founder of the Speak Award Speaker Summit, for those of you who don't know Lavelda. And she's an international MC. So there we are. So that makes sense. So 1 to 10, where would you put yourself when it comes to your LinkedIn? Because I talked about LinkedIn postings. Be honest. You're all being very honest, which I love. Yes, Larry. I'm loving that. 9. Oh, it's so good to see you on here, Larry, by the way. Yes, my friend. Strong profile, but not re-speaking. Good. So again, shifting the angle a little bit. 7 still needs a wee bit of work. Yeah, look, we're all work in progress, right? It's good to see the marks are high. Yay. Oh, of course, Larry. So nice to see you on this call. Good. Lots of 8s, lots of can do better. Good. Look, as I say, today's all about reflection, right? It's all about what do we need to do? And it could be just one area you need to tweak. If you're posting a lot, start to vary the posts, adds the speaking post, the expertise posts. I'll give you an example, right? Because I know sometimes people struggle with this a little bit. You could talk about the prep you do when you're about to speak. You can talk about something that happened while you were speaking. You can talk about post event, right? So there's a lot you could be producing when it comes to expertise and speaking without going, this is me, I'm a speaker, look at me, I'm so good, right? Which I know you all are, but you get my point with that, right? There's various posts you can do which indirectly invite them to pursue as a speaker. Show your thought leadership and the problem you solve. Absolutely. LinkedIn recommendations, a big one, a huge one. Yep, absolutely. 2 on LinkedIn, as I often find posting about myself distracts from the work, mentoring and speaking that I was doing. So it's not posting about yourself on that note, Alistair. It's more about the process. It's about what happens when you speak. What shifts have you seen? All these kind of things really matter. Can you see why this is a hands-on webinar versus theory, right? Getting you all to think, to reflect, you know, I'm sure there's lots of webinars that can go into theory, but I want you to really take something away from this, all right? And do something with it. Don't go, oh, that was a nice webinar I attended with that really high energetic Elliot Kay, who can talk very fast. I must slow down. Right, website. Let's talk about that for a second. We talked about LinkedIn. Here's what I want you to be aware of with your website. There's a whole psychology that goes into website, and I want you to think of your website as real estate, right? It's prime real estate. It's your building that you want people to come into. Yes, you got LinkedIn. Yes, you got social media. Your website is where people will go to confirm and or find out more about your speaking, right? The thing is with a website, you do need a dedicated website for speaking. It transmits real estate. I see what you did there, Dr. Ruth. It transmits that you are serious, that you're professional, and also it allows people to look and simply go, yes, I want to book them. You don't want them to click around too much. Oh, they do coaching, they do training. Oh, they're a ninja at the weekends, right? You want them to go, I'm landing on elliotkay.com. I'm watching their show reel. I'm reading their testimonials. Let me reach out to have a conversation. That is the function of a speaker website. Very few people will book you directly from your website, but to have the conversation. It's got to have call to actions on every section, right? You've got to have that button, book me, talk to me. The other thing I see mistake-wise when it comes to website, besides not having one, and I know some of you are like, oh my God, I've got another website to manage. This is really important because it's your real estate. I like where you did that. It's where people can make a decision. Now, if you're on bureaus and agents, they won't be looking at websites because they deal with it. But people outside of that still need to be able to consume you as a speaker, right? What I see is a lot of people bury their show reel at the bottom. And that is not the place to put it. The first thing people need to see after your problem-solving statement is your show reel, period. That's it. If there's no show reel, you're losing bookings, period. So your website doesn't need to be flashy. It doesn't need to be clever, but it just needs to be functional. And it needs to very quickly show your speaking, the problem you solve, and then have testimonials, and then who you've worked with, and then all these bits. But yes, there we go. So 1 to 10, where are we, people, with our websites? And I'll have a sip while you're putting your numbers. An 8, yes. Yes. Go, Anthony. Yes, Rachel. Yes, Vanessa. We're having it redone. Good. Yes, Sarah. By the way, they're all good. This isn't about beating yourself because it's not a high mark. It's just a reflective. 3, 4, Same problem. Strong site, but not focused. Okay, so we know for you, Eric, some to-dos, right? Shifting it more into speaking. I don't have one yet. Okay. Career changer here. Oh, good. Haven't started working. Okay, thank you for honesty. Let's keep going. God, I really am sweating. Ooh, putting a lot into this. I hope you're getting value. Let's quickly talk about this asset. Out there is better than perfect. As you can see, there we go. That is very true. That's a tech mindset. Get version 1 going, then work on version 2, work on version 3. Have something out there. That's so true, right? So if you have nothing, these days you can build something. Just make sure it's a good reflection of your brand. Just don't make it look cheap, right? So, photography and one pager. I'll talk about that a little bit. Here's the thing about photography. The photography that you choose to put both on social media and on your website and anything you do must reflect your energy, your brand, and your speaking. Okay. If you use cheap photography, if you use pixelated photography, if it's not good, then you're instantly telling people that you're not potentially not good, right? That you're not trustworthy. You're going to transmit the wrong image. Photography matters. They say one picture says 1,000 words. It's the same with speaking. They'll get a feel for your energy. They'll get a feel for your strength, for your presence. Of course, it can be engineered. I get that with photographies, but it still needs to be out there. And photography matters. So be clever. If you've got one really good image, use that one really good image versus 3 really bad images, right? This is key. Photography matters just as much as your showreel. Can you see these? All these elements matters. They all need to work together. If I see an amazing showreel and then I go on your website and it's really poor photography, I'm off. I'm out. Same for bookers, right? Keep in mind. Now, your one page is really important too because it's an asset to pass on when it comes to your speaking. So your one pager is something that a booker would take, and then when they're talking about who to book, they'd print out or they'll bring it up on the screen. It's got a good image of you. It's got your bio, testimonials, and your topics on there, because it's not easy to forward on links. It's not easy to send someone a LinkedIn. But if you have a one pager, it's an asset that allows you to then almost give them a document about you, why to book you, and then they can take that to decision makers as well. All right. Sorry, my bad. Okay, no worries, Budu. Nice to see you all the way in Papua New Guinea. So where are we 1 to 10 with photography and all your one pager? So I hope you're kind of going, bing, all these things I want to do better. Does selfies count as bad photography one pager? I wouldn't. I would have pictures of you speaking. I don't think selfies is a great one unless you got an amazing selfie. It's got to look like a professional speaking website, and I don't think selfies is quite the right image to use. I would go and get a photographer or make sure every time you speak, you're getting some really good pictures. These days, phones do take really good pictures, right? So please make sure that is congruent. Oh, some really good. I'm loving this. One page I don't have. I'm loving these marks. One question. I'd question if your picture's pixelated. I know it sucks to have pictures on your biggest stage pixelated. Yeah, absolutely. I've had those. Like, oh my God, I was so good in that talk. And then the pictures come out pixelated. You're like, no, why me? How are we doing, people? We good? What's our biggest learning so far? Let's have some one sentences in the chat. I took about these shots on my phone and send them to augment.ai. Oh, good. Photography, no speaker ones yet. 7, good. Doing great as always. Thank you, Dr. Ruth. I appreciate that. Need dedicated LinkedIn. Importance of full suite. Oh, there we go. Pointless. Love that, Dom. What else are our big learnings? What is the problem you solve? Speakers need to know this. Yep, absolutely. Need one pager. Yes, you do. Couple more and we'll keep going. Got a couple more and then we'll take some Q&As. And then just remember, if you're here from the shortlisting, we've got the session with Ambition PR. Need to sort out my real estate. Yes, I love what you did there. That's so cool. Like real estate. Yeah, you see all these light bulb moments. Okay, let's talk about the last couple of things. So, outreach. Let me talk about that and spend some time talking about this. It's quite important. I know as speakers, as professional speakers, we want the bookings to come to us. We always want the bookings to come to us. That's kind of the dream. I remember when I used to do a lot of performing, you get to that tipping point where people are calling you, I've heard about you, da da da. Speaking's the same. We want to get to the point where they're coming to us. However, to get to that point, we need to do outreach. We need to build relationships. We need to put ourselves out there. You need to build relationships. I believe Kerry mentioned that a lot of speaking is done on referrals, and it will only happen if you're trustworthy, you do a good job, and you're easy to work with, right? You add massive value and you solve a problem. So when it comes to outreach, I would suggest you always have a strategy around outreach versus sitting in to come to you. Because what will happen is eventually when you do outreach, they will come to you because you establish yourself, you get the reputation, you become that key person of influence, right? But till then, you need to build relationships. Bookers, agents, bureaus, they need to know they can trust you. For me to refer anyone, I need to have seen them speak. I need to know how they work. I need to know how they treat staff, right? How they're treated, what they do. This is essential. And that comes also kind of leans into world class as well. But unless you're doing outreach, then you're relying on being found continuously. You got to remember that people are busy. They're busy, right? Even people that are booking speakers are busy. So unless you're on their radar, how are they going to know about you? How are they going to how are you going to be front of mind? Versus outreach, building relationships, getting on a Zoom call, following up, treating that person like a human being, building trust, right? Again, I know a lot of people in a hurry, or they're, look, I just want a booking, I just want to speak, I just want this. And they can be quite abrupt when they do that. They can be quite forceful. They can be like, it doesn't work anymore, right? Authenticity, connection. People want that. They want relationships, right? Um, this is really important, right? And I think people forget this. That in the speaking world, it's people. People are booking you are people. People that want to work with you are people. So sure, you can get to the point where you're like, so established, you hit the 1%, who we're interviewing, by the way, at the summit, Penny Malroy, and they're just flowing in. And I hope you all get there. Till then, it's about building relationships. So use LinkedIn to outreach, to build relationship. Use social media to build relationship. Use emails. Phone calls is still a thing, people. Pick up the phone to people and be like, hey, I really love the event you're putting on. I really love the speakers you book. Can we talk about speaking, right? I know it's very easy these days when I talked about to hide behind our screens, right? Not to pick up the phone, but I'm telling you, a lot of bookers still use phones. People that deal with speakers still use phones, right? I know it's weird, and we have one, and it seems like everything around us is designed not to use our phone, like to talk, but yes, use the phone, build relationships. So really think strategically how you do that, right? The type of messaging you get and you send, right? Be authentic, be yourself, be connective. The whole awards and summit has been built on relationships. The judges that get involved are people like Dom who are on here, Ambition PR, Jenna and Hannah. It's all built on relationships and trust, right? And adding value. Often I've had to add far more value up front before some things come my way. And that's not in a needy, please work with me kind of way. It's in just, let me show you what I can do and then I get it back, right? Build relationships. You've got to have an outreach strategy. At least for those of you who aren't ones, if you're twos and threes, it's all about getting on Zoom calls, getting them to show reel, building relationships. So in 2027, when they're thinking of their next speaker, they go, Katie, yes, this is why. Or they'll go, Sarah, yes, right? Because you're on their radar, because you spoke to them nicely, because you're treating them like a human being, not just someone that can get you a booking and pay you, right? Your outreach is a huge part of your strategy, period. All of these are part of your strategy, right? Your outreach needs thought, right? It needs attention. This is really important. Okay. I can't stress this enough. You want referrals, build great relationships. You want to be on people's front of mind, build great relationships. You want people to talk about you nicely outside of the room, not horribly, build great relationships. Have an outreach strategy, right? So 1 to 10 people, let's be honest. How's our outreach strategy? Okay. It's not good yet. Cool. I'm glad I'm highlighting because I just want you all to thrive, really. That's all we want here in the Speaker Summit and the Speaker Awards. And all of us, we just want to help support your speaking journey. Good. So I'm glad we're highlighting, and I'm glad some of you are 7. But again, this is just reflective. This isn't to judge you. This isn't to catch you out. This thing, okay, these are the areas I need to work on, right? Any tips for introverts? Nancy, yes, look, as an introvert, Lavelda's an introvert, so she can probably answer this quite well as well. Let's circle back when we do Q&A. But here's the thing. Having worked with introverts, I know it just takes you a lot longer to kind of energize and decompress post it. Do you mean, Nancy, when it comes to outreach, introverts, or just as a speaker, introvert? As an introvert, you need to find your flow. Outreach. Okay. So find what works for you. You don't have to do video. You don't have to do anything that's too stretchy, but you can write a genuine outreach message, and you can tailor that according to the person. So within your outreach strategy, something that reflects you truly. And you could say, hi, I'm an introvert. I dread these messages. However, I really love the work you're doing. I mean, you don't have to quite say it like that, but you get my point. You can be authentic. You really don't have to push yourself to I'm an extrovert, so I thrive on this kind of stuff. It is finding your way. And there's Lavelda. Here you go. We're the best at especially warm outreach because we love to connect deeply with people. There you go. There's Lavelda's insights. So yeah, I think it's test and trial, and it's an evolution. I used to send people a joke. I don't know if anyone ever got that from me a few years ago. I used to send people a joke going, hey, what's Forrest Gump's favorite password? One, Forrest, one. And of course, it's a terrible dad joke, right? I mean, no one's smiling. That's pretty bad. I mean, the people I'm looking at, I'm not even getting a slight smile. I mean, tough crowd. Anyway, but that's what I would get. They go, Elliot, terrible joke, but you've got my attention. What can we do, right? So I'm smiling now. That's good. But you get my point. I don't do it anymore, but find your groove, find your way, and be authentic, because people see through that. How many times do you get this email going, Elliot, I've added you because I've noticed this. Is it worth a 15-minute chat? I'm like, no, it's just not worth it, right? Find a different way. Stand out as well. Okay, now let's talk about delivery. All right. Here's the thing I want you to be aware when it comes to delivery. Delivery is a part of this whole journey. It's a very important part of your journey because obviously we're professional speakers and this is what it all leads to. So a few things, right? You've got to continuously improve your craft, period. You've got to work on your speaking. People want more connection now. They don't want just information. They want implementation. Again, this comes in your bookability, right? But also people want, in a way, as an audience, we can be very selfish. It's the whole what's in it for me, right? So being world class is your ability to give them what's in it for me, almost for them to sit there and go, you're in my head, right? In a good way, not a crazy way. And to be entertained to a certain degree and be educated and be empowered. And world class, people that are world class always work on their craft. Now, it doesn't mean you have to spend a year every day, but it means not to neglect it, to continuously work on it so you're continuously stepping up a level. And some speakers get to a point, they kind of go and they plateau for a bit, and then they work, and then they go out a level. Find your pace, but please don't neglect it. Like, even if you're getting lots of bookings, I know certain speakers that get paid a lot of money, and they will sit and dissect their talks, and we'll sit and we look at the inches, and we look at the pauses, and we look at the slight tone variation. So there's always another level, but please don't neglect to do that. The other part I want to talk about world-class delivery is how you show up, right? How you behave, how you treat people. That's also part of being a world-class speaker, right? And I started to allude to this when it comes to outreach. How you show up and how easy you are to work with and how you treat the people that book you and how you deal with the aftermath of things, that's all world-class. Now, it doesn't mean you suddenly become a walkover or a sucker or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's always ways to handle things with grace and respect without being egotistical and temperamental. I know a lot of bureaus and agents, the moment you're difficult to work with, they just stop working with you, right? I'm sure Don will have an opinion on this as well. And it's really important how you show up. Now, of course, there's tricky situations and people can let you down, but how you handle that is world class, right? I would invite you to be world class. I invite you to be respectful and graceful. Don't be a mug, obviously, but it is about relations. This industry is still relational. So if you get the booking of a lifetime and you show up and you're just horrible to work with and you're just a pain, that will affect you, right? So I just want you to be aware of that when it comes to world-class delivery as well. So 1 to 10, where are we? World-class delivery. Let's be honest. There we go. The referable speaker. Good. We've got 6s. We've got 8s. Loving it. Good. Oh, I love it. Everyone always gives themselves really high marks on this one. It makes me smile. I love it. 5.5. And it's true. You got to have confidence in yourself. But I'm glad you're all high on this as well. Can you see how this all works together, though? Can you see there isn't either or, right? Don't be a speaker who just rocks up 5 minutes before tech check. Yeah, I agree. Always room for improvement. Great. But can you see how this all works together? So positioning, right? Then your showreel is a reflection of that. Then your LinkedIn is your voice of that. Then your website is where people is like your shop window. Then the photographies are your visual display of that. How you show up, your outreach and your world class is the delivery of that, right? So this is why I wanted to do this for everybody who's on our databases, because I want you to be future ready. And future ready comes from reevaluating our positioning. We might need to reevaluate our showreel. We need to look at the stuff we're putting out on social media and LinkedIn, our website, the photography we've been using, the outreach and relationships we've been building, and of course, delivering our great, incredible talk. So what I'd love you to do right now is, is put your average score in the chat. So take everything we've done from positioning. I know it says bio here, but positioning, showreel, LinkedIn, website, photography, outreach, world class. Add it all up, divide it by 7, and put your average score in. Let's see what you get to. A 6. That was quick, Ruth. She's got it. Cow. I know, mine's that. Yay. Hey, Tracy. 5. Good. No idea, but I guess 5. Love that 5. Cool. Few more. You'll see there with calculators. 4 or 5. I love that Dr. Will's been in a skate park listening to this. That makes me smile. My son loves going to the skate park. He's actually ill at home. I'm surprised he doesn't come in to say hello. But he loves the skate park. And Roche mental math. But okay, it's just a rough idea. What's his son's score? That's hilarious. Multitasking. Love that. Yeah, what's your son's score, Dr. Will? Ginny, 5. Okay, great. Thank you. Keep them coming. So basically, let's have a look at that. So if most of you between 40 and 60 or 50, right? So just some serious work needed. For those of you 0 to 4, you got to start building to be future ready. For those of you kind of like 6 to 8, which is understandable, 6 it's time to upgrade. You might need to review things. Of course, if you're 80 plus, it's just minor tweaks. But I just want you to understand what those kind of scores mean. So 4 would be 40, obviously 5 would be 50. So we just need to review things and look at things as well, right? So can you now see why you might not be getting those consistent bookings, the fees you want, all those kind of things? Can you see that, having seen that journey? And again, we'll send a recording of this out. And again, I don't mind sharing these slides with you. It's not a problem. I will PDF them. So just email us and we'll get you the PDF of them. I'm not quite sure how to mass email them, but we can figure that out. Lavelda can figure that out. Hey, Lavelda, can we figure out how to mass email PDFs, please? And the question is, are we all right with that? You know, how do we email you? You use hello@thespeakerawards.com and we'll share those. So yes. Oh no, Larry, you're leaving us. No. Brilliant. I will send that. So the thing is, what I want to do is make sure you're future ready, right? Because remember, we talked about if you don't take charge of your marketing, right, then you're going to end up where we were. And what I'd really love to do is here in 3, 6, 12 months that you've upped your level here, right? That you've gone up a level here with all of these. So what I want to do is give you a choice, right? There we go. Some nice summary notes there. And what I'd love to do is carry on this conversation with you. Obviously, you can do this alone. You can go, listen, I've got what I need. I'm out. That's okay. That's completely okay. But I'd really love to do is invite you to be supported and invite you, if I may, to join us at the Speaker Awards. Not the Speaker Awards, the Speaker Summit. Because what I want to do is invite you to spend the day with a community of professional speakers, with speaker bureaus, with bookers, with agents, and people who are peers in the industry. Because what will get you there fast? You can go on your own, please, by all means. Good luck, love, and keep in touch. But what we'd love to do is invite you to join the community, to be a part of this as well. Hello from Global Speakers Cafe. Oh, hello, Texas. Woohoo. Yay, coming from Maryland, USA. Yes, Eric. Love it. So that happens on the 3rd of July, if you want to join us. And what we'd really love to do is spend the day working on everything we've talked about. So we've got incredible partners. I believe Akua's in the call. We've got Organs Recognition. We've got really great Ambition PR partners for the Speaker Summit in London. The whole event is sponsored by Ready Steady Website, which specializes in speaker websites, and they're going to do a breakout session to help professional speakers with their websites on the day as well. And we cover everything that's been covered today, should you choose to join us for the day. Tracy, by the way, if you're coming to the summit, just give us a hello, I'm coming. I love London. Do I come in person? Yes, I'm afraid it's not online. You have to come in person, Kerry. I'm really looking forward to reconnecting. So Dr. Ruth is coming there as well. And this is the price, right? So you've got 397, 547, or if you want to spend the day with us the day before in a little mastermind with 12 people, there's a VIP. There's a £50 offer as well if you want to join us for the day, but you could just do the 397, and we do so many incredible things, right? Mizzy, can you post the link in the chat, please? There you go, if you want to have a look while I'm talking. So just to give you a little bit of what's up and coming, who's there, the lineup, and we'd love you to work on all of the above. We've got Maria Franzoni, the author of the Bookability Formula and the Ambassador. She's going to be talking about how you stay relevant, how you stay bookable, regardless of what it is that comes next. You've also got Jim Steele, who's got over 30 years experience of being a professional speaker. He's going to talk about how to keep momentum and being the multiplier. As well, you've got me. I'm going to be speaking about Watch Me Go, which is the theme of my new book as well. And flying all the way from Australia to join us is Leanne Christie. She has built an incredible international speaking business bureau, and she's going to be talking about how to go international as well, and sharing her insight, having been 30 years in the industry, working and supporting professional speakers as well. We also have a bookers panel hosted by the lovely Lavelda Vincenzi, who's an international MC and host. And we have Claire Young from School Speakers, who also did the event a couple of weeks ago and shared some great insights. We've got Diana Stoney, who is a speaker manager, so she's going to be talking about that. And we've got Steve Lindsay as well, who runs the sales conference. So he books speakers, as well as Damien Hutt, who book speakers. So they're going to tell you what they're seeing in the professional world of speaking about being future ready as well. Then we have breakout sessions. We have speaker website with Ready Steady websites. We've got an interview with Penny Malroy by Maria Franzoni. She's a 1%er, so she gets very high bookings regularly. We've got networking with incredible Hannah and Jenna from Ambition PR. Who are also doing, remember, if you're shortlisted, they're doing a session next. We've got AI for speakers, so artificial intelligence for speakers with Ben Gold, who's flying over from the US to deliver this session. He is incredible. He did a mini session at the summit in November when we did an online summit, and he blew everyone out of the water. It was just wow. Then we've got working with speaker bureaus with Dominic, who's been on this call from London Speaker Bureau, or Bureau, not bureaus. And he's running a session in a breakout session as well. So really jam-packed value, all about professional speaking, all about pulling the curtain back. And the good thing is there's no selling. People, there's no selling from stage. There's no back of the room. There's no run to, it's all value-led, hence us being ticketed as well. It's going to be at the Leonardo Hotel in St. Paul's in London. An incredible venue. I'm in. There we go. Eric's VIP day. Yes, Eric. Can't wait. And I can't believe I'm blown away that you're getting on a plane for this. I completely appreciate you. It's the 3rd of July and it's 10 till 4. Obviously, if you want to do the VIP day, it's the day before. So there's information on the link as well. And it's at the Leonardo Royal Hotel. It includes lunch, right? So you don't have to worry about lunch. So once you book your ticket, we will send you a form. You can tell us what you do and do not like to eat. Look, it can feel saturated and it can feel lonely, which is why we're building a community. There's lots of stuff happening in the next year with this community. And of course, what we want to do is give you access to people on the same journey with you, bookers, panelists. That's why we put on this day. We want to help completely elevate and support you on this journey. As you can see, we lead with value, period. We are all value up front. That's how we do things. So what we want to do is open up the door and pull out the curtains and give you access. That's key, right? We want to hold the industry to high standards, right? It's not just about the mic. We're all students to the craft, right? So this was talking about being world class, continuously working on our stuff. We want you to grow and we care deeply about this industry, which is why we do what we do. And it's grown to be such a global movement. And of course, we care about your work, right? So this is our promise to you. We're going to, on the day, show you what's possible and help you get there. We want to help connect you. I mean, I can't promise to get you next to someone, but what we can do is put you in the room where you can make those connections. We want to give you that schwung, that energy to move forwards. And of course, we have so many people that have struck up friendships. Now, I can't promise you to make lots of friends, but we do see a lot of friendships develop because you know what? We want speakers to be supporting speakers. And for those of you coming to the summit, feel free to jump in and tell us if you find that true. There's connections, there's growth. And we've seen it grow and grow. And people have come back year after year because there's a sense of community. Of course, we add massive value through the speakers, but it's a sense of community, the sense of belonging, the sense of knowing that you're part of a movement as well. And that's what we'd love to have you in the room if you're not already coming. So this is a price recap, $397 for the day. If you want to come and join us. If you want to get 12 months of webinars post the event, so the event's on the 3rd and then on the 9th, we do something called Summit Plus. That is when all the partners and experts do webinars weekly. That's 547 and you get recording and you get access to community. And if you do want to do what Eric is talking about with the VIP experience, that's when you would get to do masterminding. It's no more than 12 people. We've got Claire Young in the room. We've got Diana Stoney in the room. We've got Maria Franzoni in the room. We've got Mary Tilson in the room. And they're all going to be talking about scoping and they're going to be talking about literally how to be future ready. Go really deep with it. Eric's joining us as well. There's a few people doing VIP. If you already got a ticket and you want to upgrade to VIP, we've got a couple of slots. If you don't want to do that, join us for the day. Come for the day, do the 397. It's £50 off until the 15th of June because you might need to work things around. You're going to get emails about this, but we can't wait to welcome you. What I'd love to do is take any questions you might have for the next few minutes before we start the session with Ambition PR about the day, about anything you want. 12 weeks, not months. So who has any questions about potentially working, coming to the summit or anything like that? Eric has something to say. Oh, does she? Okay, thanks, Eric. I'll sort that out. There we are. Any questions? I'll have a drink of water while you're thinking. You can unmute yourself if you want. Let me do this as well. Devalda, anything to add? You've been very quiet.
Of course I've been quiet. You've been talking. What was I supposed to do? Jump in halfway through and be like, hey, hi, folks. If you've not met me before, my name is Lavalda Vincenzi, and I essentially do the operations here at the Speaker Awards and Summit. So if it's the first time meeting, lovely to meet you. If you've got any questions as well about how the summit works, anything that you want clarifying, what I will say is this year's summit is probably every year that we build the summit out, because we think very carefully about who we select as speakers, because there are a lot of events out there that you can choose from. And the one principle that we've held very dearly is we want to bring together real industry leaders with a depth of expertise as our speakers. So we don't have, let's brush over this and like give you the broad strokes. Yes, you need a show reel. Come on, we've been in this industry long enough that we're talking to professionals who kind of already know. So Jim Steele is really sharing how do you remain relevant 30 years on. And if there's any time to really think about relevancy in this industry, it's probably now. Things are shifting so much that we're finding there's so many pockets in this industry where people were really busy and all of a sudden it feels like it's just falling off a cliff. And so 30 years in, he was our speaker of the year last year at the awards, and he's graciously decided to come and share how he's managed to navigate that, because it happens to also be the arena that he speaks within. So we get both of those things. You get to see a world-class speaker in action talking about the thing that he actually talks about, which is amazing. Maria Franzoni, if you've never met her before, it is an absolute powerhouse in this space. Maria was one of the founders of the Bureau of International Speakers. She ran an agency, she worked with an agency, she now coaches speakers on how to be bookable. Her book is incredible if you haven't seen it already, and she's really going to be unpackaging the industry. But what Maria is brilliant at, because she's all the way in the back and has all of the bureau insights, she's able to actually tell you what's happening right now in the big bureaus, because she can go chat to her friends and then bring you the data. So if you were looking at the Speaker Summit and thinking, oh, I don't have time, it's a little bit late, what I will say is we really do go out of our way to bring you the inside scoop that is really difficult to get. And if there's one thing that I know that I really value in my business is it's really difficult to get in a room where there's at least 5 or 6 bookers, let alone to get time and a meeting with them. There are going to be at least 5 of them in the room, possibly more. Now, that's not to say I can't make, that you're going to meet all of them, but that is a very unique opportunity. And as speakers, if you can talk to the people who see the most clients, they're talking to these clients day in and day out. There are little nuggets that can transform your business. And so if you're on the fence, I really just encourage you to think about it, especially if this is a core business that you run, it's a core business you want to build, or especially if you're finding that the market is shifting in a direction, you're like, oh, the leads aren't coming in the way that they used to. This is about understanding what's working right now. So I'll get off my soapbox. As you can tell, I'm a little passionate. I will get off my soapbox. If you've got any questions, please email in. The team are always happy to help. hello@thespeakerawards.com. We'll drop the link in the chat again for you if you want to go and take a look at it. And, we welcome any questions that you've got. If you've got accessibility requirements as well, we make sure that those are met. We've welcomed many people through our doors from a multitude of different backgrounds. And we're really proud to say that we pride ourselves on being able to go out of our way to accommodate speakers from the full breadth of society. It's really important to us because we think our stages should represent the people that we speak to. And for that reason, everybody should have the same level of access. So it's lovely to meet you. I will stop rabbiting on and I'll hand you back over to Elliot. See, this is why I didn't interrupt Elliot.
But I invited you, so really great stuff, people. Thank you for joining us. What we will shift to now, Speaker Summit is amazing. Thank you, Vanessa. I'm sad you're not coming to the world this year, but Sarah is. She recommended it. We'd love to have you there if you're not already coming. It'd be brilliant. So thank you. And thank you for spending your Friday lunchtime with me. I really appreciate it. So thank you for that. What we are going to move to now in a second, we're going to move to the PR surgery, what we calling session, masterclass, um, you know, with Hannah and Jenna from Ambition PR. So if you've been shortlisted for the awards, remember we're emailing, this is going to be the session. If you join for the webinar, and this is the end of the webinar, we hope to see you in July. You'll get emails and stuff, so keep an eye out if you haven't booked yet. But if you are shortlisted for the awards, do stay on. It's lovely to see you all. I really appreciate you, and we will see you all very soon. But now it's over to Hannah and Jenna, which we'll start recording in a second. And then I think Sarah, Caroline, and let's see. But it was definitely marked.
Great. Thanks, Elliot. Brilliant session. Thank you.
You're very welcome. See you soon.
See you soon.
Take care.
Bye.
And Katie was waving as well. So Michaela's here. Karen, are you here for the PR session? Hello.
Karen.
Sarah's here for the PR session. We'll also record this as well, and we'll send it to everyone as well. Is Caroline Elliott, you are not here for the PR session because I don't believe you were shortlisted. Is that right? Don't flash us and then disappear. See, so we can't hear you. You're on mute. So
No, I'll leave you to it. I've just come back from 2 days of driving, so
okay.
Enjoy.
We'll see you soon. See you at the summit.
Yeah. Bye.
So Karen is here. Mike, were you shortlisted? Sarah's here. Lovely to see you, Sarah. Michaela's, I don't know, Glenn, Nancy. There's Sarah. You're there twice. It's very well, which Sarah do we look at?
I'm really sorry, my computer keeps dying.
Don't be sorry. It's quite okay.
I don't want to miss it.
No problem. Right. If you are not part, I don't think you were sure. I'm going to remove you. Please don't be offended because this is the session for shortlistees. Michaela, you're, of course, very welcome to stay on. Mike McCann, I don't believe you were shortlisted. Karen Farrell wasn't shortlisted. Let's remove her. She didn't show up anywhere. Like she definitely didn't make it to right. It's Nancy Johnson. I don't think Nancy was as well. Oh, don't cry. We love you. 1 second. Nick Redmond was on, but she disappeared. She was one of the shortlistees. There we go. Right. I think, let me press record. Actually, let me stop this on YouTube. Give me 1 second, but because that's been going on YouTube.